Hey there, folks, and welcome back to another episode of our venture in the visual novel If My Heart Had Wings, Flight Diary. In the last episode, more fellowship between the Soaring Club with Isuka and Amane, and apparently some backstory too on how Hat the duck got the hat that he was wearing. Turns out that as a curious duck or any other animal is, they tend to poke at things and unfortunately cause some collateral damage at one point or another. And to which there was this particular doll that Isuka had that Hat had pecked at and unfortunately damaged them. To which then Isuka said, okay, so for that, you're going to take the place of this doll. And to come to find out that the manor doesn't even allow pets. So Isuka basically had to put Hat outside and train him to be able to adjust to the wild. But I guess Hat found that to be far more entertaining and far more beneficial than just being at a at a pet at a like an animal shelter or something like that. Then in other news, Isuka shared that Hat could do tricks, but when she tried to get him to do the trick, he just looked totally oblivious. So it could be that he totally forgot. And as we wrap things up, Tatsuya, who arrived late unfortunately due to work obligations, was there to give Isuka a ride home. And apparently there is some type of love chemistry between Tatsuya and Isuka. And it appears that Aoi actually sees that. And just before Isuka was about to leave, Kotori had stopped her and gave her back her flight log, which by the request of Amane, to which Isuka was looking through it just momentarily, but then started to get a little bit uneasy. So let's pick it up right from there and let's see what's going on with that. Here we go. At first her face showed signs of nostalgia, but then she started to quiver.
今読むと完全に黒歴史っていうか。
I hope it's not anything too personal.
こんなの誰かに読まれてたなんて超恥ずかしいんだけど。でも私これを部屋で見つけて、それでグライダーに興味を持ったんです。
Oh my. Kotori was dead serious.
そのノートがなかったら私きっと今頃学校辞めて家に帰ってしまってました。
A look of surprise came across Isuka's face. Kotori had talked a lot about her past and her dreams with Isuka, but she didn't tell her how she had gotten the notebook. Isuka didn't know and probably couldn't imagine what kind of girl Kotori had been.
その日記を見つけた頃の私はどん底で友達もいなくて、ほんと楽しいことなんて何一つなくて、日記の中のイスカさんとアマネちゃんはすっごく楽しそうでキラキラ輝いて見えたの。特に空に憧れる気持ちが書かれた部分は私の一番のお気に入りだった。それで
I hate when I hit the button too early.
私イスカのことを友達みたいに思うようになったの。僕が友達？
Kotori nodded.
見たこともない日記の主を親友みたいに思って、自分も一緒に空を目指してる気持ちになってた。いつもうつむいてた私だけど、空を見上げる時だけは顔を上げていられたの。
When we had first met on Windmill Hill, Kotori's eyes had shined while looking up at the elegant glider above. Isuka's log is what gave her that feeling. Alright, so we're getting a lot of context here. Isuka looked down at the pages again after hearing Kotori talk. She looked like she was reliving some fond memories.
バカなことばっかやってたな。でも楽しかった。僕も空を見上げる時だけはうつむかずにいられたから。
Kotori laughed happily, seeing Isuka look at the log so dearly. It was those countless feelings written in those pages that were so important to Kotori. I had hoped a little that maybe some of those feelings would return to her, that her friendship with Amane would go back to the way that it used to be. But Isuka's expression changed when she turned to the last page.
どうかしましたか？別に。
Was there a love triangle quarrel between the two of them?
そのページ。
It was the page with a list of things to do. Oh, okay.
ごめんなさい。私、イスカさんの真似して、そこにいろいろ書いちゃって。
Kotori had written down the things that she wanted to do.
そうじゃないの。別に書いてくれて全然構わないし。っていうか、いっぱい書いたね。
でも全部クリアしたわ。イスカさんがやり残したこともまるっとね。
Kotori had said with pride.
ほんとだ。全部墨って書いてある。
Isuka traced through the page and stopped at one spot and gave a troubled look for a slight moment. She then turned her eyes away.
やっぱりこれ、小鳥ちゃん持ってて。迷惑じゃなければだけど。
迷惑なんかじゃないわ。でもどうして？
別に深い意味はないの。小鳥ちゃんに親友って思ってもらってたの嬉しいし、だから持っててほしいなって。
分かった。じゃあ大事に預からせていただきます。
そうして。
Kotori took the notebook and held it to her chest.
それじゃもう行かないと。
Tatsuya should have been by the gate already.
あまね
お？なんだ、もう帰るのか？
五十嵐くん来てくれたから。
そうなのか。一緒にお風呂に入ろうと思っていたのに。
Maybe some other time.
それはまた今度ね。それじゃ。
またな。また遊びに来てくださいね。
今日はありがとう。
Isuka said cheerfully, then hurried out. She seemed to be in a hurry, probably because Tatsuya was waiting for her.
小鳥、そのノート。なんか私に持っててほしいって。そうなのか。
Amane sounded a little down.
きっと私と仲良くなりたいって思ってくれてるんだわ。そうに違いない。
Kotori put the notebook away in her wheelchair. I saw what it was that Isuka had been looking at. Across the corridor in the sky. Let me tell you about how I met Amane. I wonder if this is Isuka talking now. It was April at the time. It was the start of the school year. This person barely had enough attendance, but it moved up a grade with everyone else.
いいか？ここテストに出ないぞ。出ないけど面白いからもうちょっとやるぞ。
Everyone laughed at the teacher's joke. This person stared out the window, absent-mindedly listening. The cherry blossoms in the outer grounds were in full bloom. Their beauty caught their eye. To be frank, this person just did not fit in well with their new class.
退屈だな。
Okay, so it's Isuka, so we know now. Isuka thought how it was always boring being alone. Even more so when you're surrounded by other people, she pondered. but there was someone of interest in her new class. Amane Mochizuki. This was the first time Isuka had been in the same class with the so-called genius girl. She had thought that everyone would be fussing over her, but that was not the case. The genius girl was just as, if not more, out of place. Because she was even stranger than Isuka thought she was.
それ面白い？ねえ、
私に言ったのか？
他に誰がいるのさ。
たくさんいるが。
Amane was in the classroom, but she wasn't there to study. The genius girl was too much of a genius that even the teachers had nothing left to teach her. So she spent her time reading doctoral papers and theses during class.
別に。
何が？
君が聞いたんじゃないか。面白いかって。
ああ。じゃあなんで読むの？
他にやることがないから。
She read those difficult papers because she had nothing else to do.
眠くならないのかな。
Isuka would have been asleep by now for sure with the warm sunlight hitting her.
バカだな。
バカ？それは私のことか？
ああ、そうだよ。あんたのことさ。人生短いよ。限られた時間はもっと楽しいことに使わないと。
それは君のように窓の外をぼんやりと眺めることか？
Sick burn. Apparently Amane was watching Isuka. Isuka was surprised. She was sure that she wouldn't even bother looking at her.
それも楽しいことの一つだね。満開の桜をめでないなんて日本人失格だよ。
Amane nodded in confusion and looked out the window. But she didn't seem to understand.
他には？楽しいことだ。どんなことがあるんだ？
そんなの自分で考えなよ。いくらでもあるでしょ。
そう言われてもわからないぞ。もっと具体例を提示してもらえないだろうか。
Amane seemed troubled. It was as if a teacher had asked her a difficult question she could not answer.
そうだな。
Then Isuka heard a low grumbling sound. Other students in the class looked over in horror.
何今の？
お腹が空いているのを体が思い出してしまったぞ。君が話しかけてくるからだ。
Just as she was back then, with the rest of the Soaring Club, or the new Soaring Club, if you will. Amane looked very embarrassed about it. You could see how hungry she was by the look on her face.
決まったね。授業終わったら学校を抜け出そう。
いいのか？校則違反だぞ。
あんたってほんとバカだね。校則になんて縛られてたら楽しいことを逃しちゃうよ。
Not necessarily.
そうなのか。知らなかったぞ。
校舎裏に金網が破れてるところがあってさ、そこから外へ出られるんだ。僕に任せて。絶対見つからないように連れ出してあげるから。
ああ、信頼しよう。
Well, that was easy. When the class bell rang, Isuka took Amane with her as they skipped class. And we'll see just how this adventure of them skipping classes happens on the next episode. Ah, there's a good cliffhanger for you. There's a good cliffhanger for you. Well, I want to thank everyone for watching this video this time around. If you like what you saw, maybe consider leaving a like. And if you'd like to see more and you haven't already, maybe consider subscribing and check out some of my other content. Also, when you subscribe, remember to activate the notifications so you know exactly when the next premiere happens. So until next time, happy mixing, everyone.